Thank you for checking out Agency MVP. We're going to help you become a data-driven agency. It's so important coming up with all this technology in 2020 and on. If you're not a data-driven agency using all the data that you intake and don't realize that you intake to help you win and maximize your ROI and your staff's efficiencies, that's what I'm here to help you do today. We are the first smart sales and lead management system built specifically for PNC agencies. All those other sales tools like Salesforce, Zoho, they weren't built specifically for PNC insurance agents. They were built actually for software from the beginning. So they just slapped on the front of their software program names about insurance. It was not built specifically for insurance agents. So let's check out how Agency MVP differs. What we did is we solved the problem of the law of diminishing returns. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about quote volume. So as you quote people in your office, whether you're filling out old quote sheets, right, your paper old school when you're taking down people's information to quote them, or you're putting that information straight into a rating platform, doesn't matter. As you start to quote people, unless you have a 100% close rate, which I doubt it, as you start to quote people, you start to accumulate a pipeline, right, a sales pipeline. All of these quotes not closed start to accumulate as you X-date people, as they're defectors or win-backs, or all these people that you're trying to cross-sell, right? You're building a sales pipeline. Now, there's two major problems that the law of diminishing returns causes. One, how long does it take you, right? Think about the head count, the payroll. How long does it take you to call all of them back? And then the biggest time waster, killer of efficiency in your office, you might not have known this, is how much time is wasted calling the wrong ones back first. Think about how much time it takes to quote somebody. Then how much time does it take to try to value sell them over the phone, learning about them, trying to build rapport with them, right? Only to find out that they don't want to buy from you because for the same coverage of $1,000 more. Those are the people that you are wasting an enormous amount of time back in your pipeline. And what Agency MVP does is we figured out how to make this insurance specific. We can take every single individual household in your pipeline and rank it by who's most valuable, most likely to close every day. We call it the cream rising to the top. Let me show you a side by side here to kind of explain how MVP works. Where you have current technology, never ending new lists, right? You're always building new lists. It doesn't track critical events. Now, what we mean by critical events, you got to think underwriting level. Things like claims falling off, X dates coming up, competitors taking rate increases at renewal. Things like that. We're tracking those critical events in the background for every single household. Prospect value. It's not looking at, do I have a monoline versus a multi-line household with life insurance? It doesn't care in a list-based system. MVP does. We're looking for those higher premium, those multi-line opportunities. Claims are falling off. You're saving people money. This is a cross-sell follow-up. We are looking at the entire pipeline, and the cream rises to the top with MVP. So I love asking agents, if you had your staff calling one of your lists back, and you know that there's valuable people in there, but you might run into those people that you waste 30 minutes on trying to quote and value sell, versus my staff only call the most valuable, most likely to close, who's going to have more success? And they always say, well, you are. Right. That's why thousands of agents have joined Agency MVP and started working smarter, not harder. There's another thing that it really does for you, which is it gives you more time to focus on what matters. Let me show you specifically. So would you rather call your entire pipeline 3 times each and hope that the MVPs, most valuable prospects, answer the phone or versus the non-valuable, right? That's that spray and pray technology that's out there. Let's blast everybody. Let's automate everybody. Well, or how about just calling the MVPs 12 times? Think about that. And why that's so critical is we have a statistical fact that 60% of our users' revenue came after the 12th call attempt. Think about it. People are busy. They're always working when you're working, right? And so what you've really got to do is call people enough times to get them on the phone again, right? You have people from a year ago that pop back up to the top of the ranking in MVP, and then you close them. It's always keeping those MVPs at the top so that you are focusing all of your energy where you should be. You're not spraying and praying your entire pipeline. That brings up another point. We are the first company to have a free game feature. We're going to show you how to scale off your existing pipeline with new staff. Let me show you. With all other technology, you eventually get to the point where your producer maxes out how many calls they can make in a day, right? So then you might be going, well, I spent all this money on marketing and I have all these leads sitting here. I need to hire a new producer, I guess, and then give them these leads lists to start basically cold calling. In MVP, because we're monitoring all those MVPs, there's a rule setting in MVP that says if a producer doesn't call a prospect within this many days, they now become free game for any other producer to work. So you'll have MVPs start to become free game, and we're going to teach you and show you how in MVP you can easily identify when it's time to hire a new producer, because these MVPs aren't getting called. And at that point, that's when you add headcount. You can hire in that new producer to work these MVPs, and they have instant success as long as they can close. But you have people that you're much higher propensity to buy, higher value. So you start making a profit on new producers faster versus having basically a telemarketer come in, right? You're just assigning random leads lists. You now have a new producer focus on those MVPs that your current staff couldn't get to because they were working on too many other better MVPs. MVP is going to become that one sales tool that has all the features that you need in it and not this other corporate fluff that some engineer thought you might need, right? We have currently in our system amazing features like our text or email quote comparison presentation to help you sell on value. We have a side-by-side URL that you send to a prospect via text. You can send it over Facebook Messenger. You can send it via email. And so they click on the link and then it shows them a value presentation. This is what it might look like on a cell phone for your prospect. And then it tracks when and if they actually viewed your quote. So if you have somebody really hard to get a hold of, you can send them that link and then we track every time they click on it. Really cool. Fully integrated texting platform. If you're using outside like ZipWhip or anything like that, we built in a fully integrated texting platform. We can text and receive JPEGs. Something they can't do is we can send PDFs. We love to send ID cards after we sign people up, so that's really cool. And then also, if you're using any kind of document storage systems like Dropbox or anything like that, why use third-party tools? Don't you want that all integrated so that you're keeping all your files where they need to be in every single household? That's why we built file storage. It's unlimited overall, 100 megabytes per household. That's plenty. You can fit huge declaration pages inside that file section. Invoices, receipts, keep it all in one place. Now, what MVP is going to help you do is become a data-driven agency. I can't stress this enough. We're going to help you think like a billion-dollar company. No other lead management tool can help you do what I'm about to show you. We're going to come out with 3 reports. The first report coming out very soon is the Geo Report. We're going to help you identify the best zip codes you're winning in, help you identify the consumer you're winning with, and help you identify changes in the competitive landscape in your area on a 12 or 3-month basis, depending on what we're looking at. You can track rate increases, auto and home closing ratios. I'm going to help you focus your marketing dollars in the right places. Staff performance report, making sure that your staff are calling those MVPs, texting those MVPs, really doing the right activities. The marketing report. Now, a lot of other lead management tools can help you track ROI, but what they can't do is help you track where and who your marketing campaign is getting responses from. Why is that important? Easy. I'm going to help you identify the types of consumers calling you so that you can change filters in your marketing campaigns. Think about that. Think about the power of that. I'm going to help give you insight not only to the zip code level, but also the type of consumers responding to you so that you can adjust your marketing. No one else is doing that. And it's all coming from the data that you do already every single day and don't gain any benefit or value from it because you stick it straight into a rating platform. So let me show you exactly what MVP looks and feels like. When you log into MVP for the day, you have your dashboard. The dashboard is going to show you an overall for your agency. So this is really important for a coach, a manager, the agent in the office to watch and make sure that your staff are using MVP properly and track all those metrics that you want to track, like premium quoted, sold, total quotes being done in your office. There's a date range here where you can look at quote activity versus sales activity for every single staff member in your office. And then the way that I design this, guys, I'm a top agent, right? So I understand what you need and what you need to see to be efficient to coach your team. I can see from my producer every household that they're quoting, all the different lines of business that you could quote. And why that's so important is the biggest problem we found that agents don't realize is that their staff are quoting monoline. You'll be able to quickly tell, if my staff are quoting monoline auto or monoline home, and that's not how we work, right? We want to sell as many lines of business to get them as stuck as we can. You can see if they're saving people money, the tag, which is their marketing campaigns, the number of attempts that they've tried to call those people, if they're leaving notes or not, the quotes sent or viewed. Remember, we can track when you send out a quote comparison and if the client actually looked at it or not. If there's claims on file with them, pipeline to until, so that means we want to extend those people out to 2025. How I use this information is if I notice somebody pipeline someone out, I might go listen to that specific sales call to see why they couldn't close that person. Why are they pushing them so far in the future? It could be because of an underwriting issue where we just can't write the household. Who knows? But now I can target the right coaching opportunities, help my team win based on our simple dashboard design. Now, where does all this data come from? Again, I said I want to take that same data that you use to quote people and turn it into amazing insight into your agency and running your agency like $1 billion agency. It's real simple. If you have new leads coming in from, say, EverQuote or Quote Wizard, those are the two lead companies we're integrated with right now. They get automatically imported into MVP, and you get an alert whenever you get a brand new lead from one of those companies. Or you click Add Lead. Now, in Add Lead, this is our quote form. This is the information that you fill in as you're starting to talk to somebody about giving them a quote. We have integrations with Google. So if I click on the address, it just filled in that address for me. We're integrated with Cole X-Dates. So I can click on Add Drivers here for those two people that I'm going to give a quote for, and it fills in the household members for me. I can click on Discover Vehicles. In Cole X-Dates, if it has the information, you can put in the information for the vehicles. Also, for the house, if I'm adding their house because we're going to give a quote form, I can click Copy Mailing Address because I already put it in. Click Autofill, and it fills out information from Cole X-Dates about their house. Again, we made this as fast as possible. There's a little bit of data entry, but this is information you're fact-finding and gathering, not only to give them a quote because you need the information, but now you're going to get intelligence from this information. You're actually getting, real immediate gratification because all those reports that's going to power this is going to help you empower you and your agency in winning, right? If you have a cell phone number in there, you can click Send Message. If they have a commercial opportunity, right? Maybe you're selling home and auto to somebody, not commercial yet, but you find out they own a business. If you just put in the business name for somebody, it's now going to track that this is a commercial opportunity. Really awesome. There's those vehicles that I added. So there they are in the vehicles section. Down here, you have all the different lines of business from auto, home, life, umbrella, specialty, commercial. You put in the competitor information in your quote, track tickets or accidents. So this is our quote form. Another thing that's really awesome is ownership. If I click on the ownership menu, it will have all the other producers in my office or users, anybody in your office. You can select on their name. And then if somebody is the owner of a lead or quote form, it shows up in their calling view. So we all the time have our marketer fill in this information as they're gathering quote information, save it, and then reassign it to a producer. And then it shows up in the producer's calling view. Up here at the top is the calling views. You have different links. And if you notice, it goes from a leads to a prospects to a customer. This is a sales funnel. Really awesome. Now, if I click on quoted, it takes me into where all the magic happens. This is the ranking call view, where it's ranking by who's most valuable, most likely to close today. We have different filters in here where you can track when is the best time of day to call this person, because you asked one of the questions is, hey, when's usually the best time of day to reach you? And you can filter by that. You can also see things like claims falling off, where it will alert you and shoot them straight to the top of your list. Even people that are months old, right? Somebody that you quoted 4 months ago, but they just had a claim fall off, and now you're instantly saving them money after you requote them. It's ranking these people, all these households, by who's most valuable, most likely to close. All you do is start working from the top down. And we designed our calling view where it's very simple. You have all that information from the quote form is right in front of your face so that you can just make a call. You don't know if they're going to answer the phone or not. So we want you to go as fast as you can, calling people from the top down. If they don't answer the phone, you can click Send Message and send them a text. send them a PDF, whatever you want to do. But that's our text messaging. Now, another thing about texting, when you get a text coming in, you get an alert. You get your most recent text at the top that isn't read, it will be grayed out. And now you can look at text. You get alerts. We get people all the time, hey, what texting phone number does it show? We buy you a local phone number, and if anybody tries to call that number, it automatically routes to your main agency phone number. So you don't have to worry about them knowing a different number. It always calls your agency. And then what's really cool about our calling view is it's automated. So if I call this person and they don't answer the phone, then this Kazia, when I refresh the page, Kazia's gone for the day. They'll show up tomorrow. See, she's gone. And let's say Tim, I get a hold of Tim and he answers the phone, but you know what? He doesn't want me to call him back because he's out of town until Friday. He's out of town for Christmas. That's okay. When I hit answered, if I refresh the page, Tim is now gone for until next Friday. Why is that so different than what you're doing now? Because when Tim shows up next Friday, he's ranked where he belongs for the day. He's not in some random task list that you've created for yourself. Because eventually a task list gets out of hand. That's the problem with lists. With MVP, it snowballs, right? If I don't call any of these people today, they'll be there tomorrow, and it will have picked up anybody that I pipelined out or worked today, and it's all ranked by who's most valuable, most likely to close. Eventually, 3 months in, 6 months in, depending on your quote volume, you'll have hundreds of people sitting in your pipeline, and you can only get to the top, say 50 or 100, depending on how fast you can call. But now you're calling the top 50 or top 100 so that you're focused every single day on who's most valuable, most likely to close. You can import lists into our system. You got our reports that you can pull. The Geo Report is coming out very, very soon, followed by those other 2 reports. So now you're gaining insight and intelligence into your system. If I were to mark somebody as sold, and let's say I sold the auto and the home and the life, but didn't get to sell that umbrella or specialty or commercial. What's amazing about MVP is when I click mark as sold, if I filled in the effective dates, those 3 unsold policies go to those cross-sell sections. So now I can track people and their cross-sell opportunities and call them at the right time versus calling the same cross-sell list 1,000 times, right? You are truly focused on who's most valuable and most likely to close every day with agency MVP. So if you're like, wow, I can definitely tell an agent created MVP, this is what I've been needing forever, let's get you signed up. Just go to agencymvp.com, click the sign up now button, and then once you've registered, our onboarding coaches are going to reach out to you. They're going to email you first, then they're going to call you, and they're going to help you get on our free onboarding sessions. The other great thing is that we have 8 sessions a week. You can join as many times as you want. They're web-based. You can ask all the questions you want. We're going to help ensure your success, that you're using Agency MVP properly, and really help increase your revenue. If you want a one-on-one live demo, you can schedule that with Teresa at agencymvp.com. She'll send you her calendar link, and we're gonna work one-on-one with you. If you have any doubts about MVP or how it might work for your agency or will it work for your agency, please reach out. We want to help customize MVP because it works for any PNC agency. It was designed specifically for any PNC agency. So if you have questions about how it might work for your office, give us a call. Let's get on a web demo and let's show you how we can help you win and turn your agency into a data-driven agency.